Hello everybody, welcome to Stories by Shelley. It's so awesome to see you today. So what is the story you've chosen? The Nutcracker, an absolute favorite of mine. This is called The Nutcracker, the story by E.T.A. Hoffmann and illustrated by Valeria Docampo. Do you know what the Nutcracker is about? And look at all the beautiful Christmas decorations. I can't wait to see what's happening in the story. Should we find out? Let's go together. And our beautiful story has got the Nutcracker music written by Tchaikovsky. The Nutcracker. It was the Christmas Eve and the snow was falling gently. Clara and her brother Fritz were very excited. That night there would be a magnificent party with music and dancing. All's well of lots of fantastic presents. Fritz was busy with his toy soldiers, lining them up and giving them orders. There he is. Everybody, stand up straight, arms to your side, feet together. Hey, Fritz is getting his soldiers all in a row. Clara put the finishing touches to their enormous tree. She hung shiny baubles, candy canes, tied with bows on the branches. This is my favourite part, Clara said to her brother as she lifted up a beautiful fairy with delicate wings and a sugar plum coloured dress. Do you put beautiful stars or fairies on the top of your Christmas tree? At last it was time for the party to begin. The guests are arriving, said Clara, peeping out of her bedroom window. Fritz came running over to see who was crunching through the snow. Can you see Godfather Drosselmeyer? Asked Clara. Yes, there he is, waving, said Fritz. Come on. Their godfather was a famous toy maker. He made the most magical toys in the whole city. Clara and Fritz could hardly wait to see what he had brought them. What do you think he's got? Godfather Drosselmeyer hugged the children at the door with a flourish he produced two wonderful gifts. Fritz eagerly unwrapped a mechanical gobstopper machine, a cool bubblegum machine. For Clara, there was a wooden nutcracker in the shape of a soldier. Take good care of him, said Godfather Drosselmeyer. He's very special. I love him, Clara whispered. Thank you. But he's a soldier, said Fritz. He should be mine. No, you can't have him, said Clara. Fritz tried to snatch the nutcracker away from her. He pulled, and Clara tugged, and they pulled, and they tugged, and crack! Oh dear! The nutcracker's leg snapped off. Oh no! Clara cradled the nutcracker in her arms and wept. Don't cry, Clara, said Godfather Drosselmeyer. The soldier has been wounded before, but I can soon fix him. Godfather Drosselmeyer pulled out a little toy tool pouch from his pocket and quickly mended the nutcracker, so that he looked as good as new. Oh, look at that. Oh, thank you, said Clara, drying her eyes. I'll never let anyone hurt him ever again. Everyone was dancing now. The house was filled with music and laughter. Clara placed the nutcracker carefully under the Christmas tree and went to join in the party. There he is, carefully under the tree. Finally, the last dance was danced and the guests said goodbye. The family went to bed and the house was dark and quiet. Bong! Bong! Clara woke to hear the last bong of the clock striking midnight. "Oh no," she thought, "I left the Nutcracker all alone under the tree." Clara quickly tiptoed downstairs and crept under the Christmas tree, holding the Nutcracker protectively. Suddenly, the tree started to grow taller and taller. Or was that Clara was shrinking? "What's happened?" she cried. What do you guys think? Do you think the tree is getting taller or that Clara is shrinking? "Don't be afraid," said a kind voice suddenly. Clara turned around. It was her Nutcracker. He had come alive. Behind him, Fritz's soldiers were sitting up in their toy box, and Clara's dolls were gazing around. "Wow, all the dolls are coming alive." Before Clara could speak, she heard a scuttling of sound, and from every nook and cranny an army of mice poured into the room. And they're led by a giant mouse king with a golden crown on his head. Can you see him hiding there in the dark? "Attack!" squealed the mouse. "Who will fight? Who will help me fight?" said the Nutcracker. The soldiers marched boldly out of the toy box. "Battle!" shouted the Nutcracker, and the soldiers cheered and shouted, and the mouse squealed and squeaked. Suddenly Clara saw the Mouse King spring toward her beloved Nutcracker, and baring his teeth. "No!" she cried, and she snatched her slipper and hurled it at the Mouse King. He fell to the ground with a cry, and his crown tumbled off his head. With their leader defeated, the mice scurried away in fear. The battle was won. Hooray! The Nutcracker picked at Clara's slipper and placed it on her foot. She gasped. The Nutcracker had been transformed into a handsome prince. "I owe you my life, Princess Clara," he said. "You broke the spell that was put on me long ago by the wicked Mouse Queen." "I'm glad that you're safe," said Clara, "but you must be mistaken. I'm not a princess." "Are you sure?" said the prince. Clara looked down and saw that she was wearing a glinting gown and beautiful satin shoes. "Come on," said the prince. "I'm going to take you on a wonderful adventure." Where do you think they're going to be going? The walls of the sitting room seemed to fade away, and the beautiful sleigh drew up in front of them, led by 2 reindeer. Clara and the prince climbed on board, and they were swept high in the sky among the sparkling stars. Suddenly, wow, look at this! Suddenly, Clara caught sight of a magical land down below. Lollipop trees shimmered with candy floss hills. There was a gingerbread houses and rivers of honey and orange-scented breeze. "Where are we?" gasped Clara. "This is the kingdom of sweets," said the prince. The sleigh landed beside a rose-colored lake and changed into a steam chariot pulled by dolphins. Swans swam beside them, and shimmering fish leapt in the water. On the far side of the lake, a magnificent marzipan palace, and a fairy with delicate wings was waving to them from the gate. "Look," said the prince, "it's the sugar plum fairy." The Nutcracker prince! "Hello," said the fairy. "You home at last?" "This is Princess Clara," said the prince as he stepped ashore. "She saved my life and broke the Mouse Queen's spell." The sugar plum fairy hugged Clara and said, Come and join the celebrations." Inside the palace, Clara and the prince feasted on delicious cakes and sweets. They watched in wonder as dancers of every corner of the world whirled and danced around the room. Then It was the Sugar Plum Fairy's turn. Clara had never seen such beautiful dancing. She twirled and whirled and twirled until Clara could only see a blur of plum-coloured dress. Clara's eyelids began to droop. Her adventures had made her very tired. The sound of the music became fainter and fainter. When Clara woke on Christmas morning, she found herself curled up under the Christmas tree, next to the Nutcracker. Toys were strewn across the floor, and her parents were standing over her. "What are you doing, dear?" said her father. "Oh, I have had the most wonderful adventure." She told her parents about the Mouse King, the Nutcracker Prince, and the Kingdom of Sweets. "It was just a dream, darling," said her mother. Clara gazed up at the sugar-plum-coloured fairy on top of the tree, and she looked at the wooden Nutcracker in her hand. "Perhaps it was," she said. But suddenly she noticed something glinting on the carpet, and a smile spread across her face. It was a tiny little golden crown. "Merry Christmas, Prince Nutcracker," she whispered. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that story. Our beautiful Nutcracker. And did you like the music? That's from the Nutcracker Ballet. We'll see you again soon, everybody. Thank you for joining Stories by Shelley. Bye-bye.